This review has been overdue for so long, but it's better to just get it out of the way. Furious 7, one of the most anticipated movies of the year, and Paul Walker's last film. And that's actually a good thing, because if they canceled this film, not only would they not have had such, not only have they created one of the biggest, highest grossing movies of all time, and of course be the only film in the series to make $1 billion, it would have also mean that Brick Mansions, a film that was considered horrible by Jeremy Jahns and Chris Stuckman, would be his last film. Yeah, I don't think you want a bad film to be his last project, even though he wasn't that great of an actor. I'm sorry if I'm offending you guys, but he's not that great, from what I remember, from what I know, and knowing the fact that he didn't really have any real award-nominated roles or anything like that. He was just like any major award nominations. He mostly starred in poor-received films, but it's not the point. He was a likable guy, and he died so early. Why the fuck is that? Oh, that's right. People were being stupid with the fucking car. That guy who drove it didn't know how to drive properly. He went fast and he ended up burning up alive. Why? But luckily, this film does offer is a good send-off for him, for his character, and for Paul Walker. It's a great tribute to him. Furious 7 is directed by James Wan, who is a horror movie director who's made The Conjuring, one of the most popular, one of the most well-received, and highest-grossing horror films of all time, and of course in recent memory. Seriously, I really like that movie. And also is written by Chris Morgan, who had been writing, I think, Fast and Furious, Fast 5, Fast Furious 6, and of course this, and he might just continue on with the films. And it stars, of course, Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, along with some stand-ins like his brothers Cody and Caleb, with some CGI and some other body doubles. Dwayne Johnson, although he's not in the movie that much, which is a little disappointing. And the person who played Letty, Ludacris, and the guy who played I think it's Tyrese Gibson, but I forgot what the character he plays. Anyways, this movie is about, after, like in Fast Furious 6, they killed Deckard Shaw. But his brother Owen gets knowledge of it, well, he's in a coma, and his brother Owen gets knowledge of this, and he goes after the team that killed him. Not only do they kind of send a message by killing Han and blowing up Dom's house, though it was supposed to kill him, supposed to kill some of the people, which sucks, because that was a nice house. Bastards. And have to go after him. Well, also some sort of subplot relating to like a tracking device that can help track Shaw. Could help with like tracking, I think, Shaw, or maybe like this terrorist group that appears at the end of the movie. Now guys, I'll tell you the truth. This is not really a perfect movie. I know people love this movie because it's Paul Walker's last film. It's a great tribute to him, and the ending's very emotional, but it's not a fantastic movie. But it's not a bad movie either. It's a really fun summer movie, early summer movie. Sure, I think the summer season really starts around May, but this is a good start, good lead up to it, especially when it has such a phenomenal success and some of the best, and probably the best reviews that the series has ever had. 82% Rotten Tomatoes, 87% from audiences, which is better than the second best reviewed Fast 5, 78% from critics and 83% from audiences. That's very good, actually. And to be honest, guys, this series has finally managed to get that huge mainstream appeal. The first, 1 through 4, were all about the street racing, which wasn't all that popular, yet it had some sort of fan base, more of a cult following in some kind of way. But when it came to Fast 5 and it came more to the heists, it became wide appeal because people love heists. And it was a really fun movie, very, very goofy, cheesy, but so fun, over the top, and embraced its brainless thrills, injected some life in this franchise, new life, and it got this wider appeal that it never really had to begin with. I never really seen them. I only really got into them after Fast 5, which is when the series finally got this wider appeal and people started loving the series, and Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, and shit. Also Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, holy fuck. But this movie looked at the hype, mostly, but there were a few things that I found disappointing. The Rock is not in the movie very long. He's only in there for a couple of minutes. He mostly sits out for the rest of the movie, but the scenes he are in are very entertaining to sit through. The action, once again, is incredibly illogical and is more over the top than ever, but it's not a bad thing because it still is entertaining to sit through. There's not a lot of car action, and it's kind of ridiculous. In this movie, this thing is not really a problem, but it's more of an annoyance. One of the biggest problems with action movies today is quick cuts, and sometimes that is coupled with shaky cam. Now, there's no shaky cam in this movie, but there are a couple of cuts, and sometimes it gets a little too much. But other than that, the action sequences are well done. They're very well done. James Wan manages to do a good job with the action. I have to give him credit for that, especially with such a film made on a blockbuster scale. There's still a lot of great witty conversations between the characters. Not witty, it's very funny. This movie still retains that humor that I love from Fast 5 and Fast Furious 6. It manages to be fun. Also still has that illogical, brainless fun. And do I have any problems with it? Really? Well, the plot is not the best thing, but that's not where you go for. The action is ridiculous, but it's fun. I don't really care about that. Really, nothing really. There is, like... I think that tracking device has to be like for Owen Shaw, but it's almost kind of worthless because he keeps appearing all the time, so what's the point of it? Yeah, but that's not really much of a major complaint, because the plot is really what you don't care about. It's the action, the cars, the women. Hallelujah! Yeah, it's pretty nice to do. The exact locations, the cool characters. There's actually Kurt Russell's in this movie, and he's been such an action icon for a while, especially with John Carpenter and Escape from New York, as Snake, I believe. Yeah, I think that's it. And he offers up a cool role here. He's not just a generic, bland military guy. He's actually a pretty watchable, pretty cool, entertaining badass. Old veteran badass, you know? I mean, he's an action veteran, so what's not cool about him? They managed to use a lot of these characters. There's a lot of good action sequences. It's a lot of fun to sit through. And they pushed, and the over-the-top factor is just as big as Fast and Furious 6 and, of course, Fast 5. But this time, I'm comparing more to Fast and Furious 6 because they took down a plane, even though in real life they really wouldn't have done that. And the runway isn't really that long. According to scientists, around like 18 miles, maybe even more than that. That's pretty damn long, but there's not one. Unless they were on a desert road that was paved so much because there are such big planes coming in at mass speeds. I'm just kidding, guys. It doesn't even matter because it was fun movie. Fast 5 and Fast Furious 6 were just really fun. Justin Lin did such a good job with the action sequences, and they were just really enjoyable to watch. However, they had better styles of editing this than Fast Furious 7, but it's not really a bad thing. Furious 7 has a few logical gaps. Also, like, Letty is still recovering. Yes, she remembers everything so quickly. Everything is like near the end of the movie, she remembers everything. I'm sorry I'm giving this away, guys, but everyone's already seen this movie. But if you have not, don't take this into consideration. Like I said, you don't care about the plot. These are just things that are kind of ridiculous that you kind of nitpick at, you know? She remembers everything one time, and she remembers it quickly, which I find a little ridiculous, but whatever. There's always half-assed things like that in movies. It's ridiculous. And, not much of a problem. Special effects from this movie, they're not very good, but which I found a little disappointing, but I think they really spent the money on the CGI. And I never really paid attention to those scenes. They say you can sometimes tell. Well, CGI is not fantastic, although some people don't really do it that way. I don't know, maybe I may miss, maybe you can notice some scenes, but I never really paid attention to that, so yeah. It feels a little, it's kind of long, but it's not really much of a problem. The action is really over the top, but you still get a kick out of it. It's still a lot of fun. Jason Statham as Owen, he's pretty cool. I mean, for a guy who stars, he's kind of inconsistent with his film choices. He stars in a lot more bad than good movies recently. He still offers up a cool role here. Still a cool ass villain. He's cool, badass. He's flexible. He can kick a lot of ass. He's very flexible. He does his own stunts. There's also a cool fight between him and The Rock. That's just cool to watch. Cool hand-to-hand combat, though it's better with the cars. Mostly because, you know, have to deal with the choreography and shit. Though it's not a bad thing. I mean, James Wan does a good job for what he does. And it's still fun to sit through. Also, the ending is very emotional. It's a great tribute to Paul Walker. I mean, they showcased clips of him from previous movies. I know I'm giving this away, guys, but I really wanted to detail what's the tribute to him. And it's a good tribute. Also, he and Dom are racing each other, and they're on this one road, and then it divides into two roads, and you see Paul driving off. Like, you see Brian driving off. It's really sad. And at the end, they say, for Paul, you really tug at the heartstrings, and you really made us, and you did a good job making us feel. Filmmakers, you did such a great job. There's actually some surprising drama in this movie. It's actually a really more dramatic movie than the last two. And I have to give credit to this. And they managed to work well. Sure, sometimes it's cheesy, but at least you can somewhat feel for the characters, because they at least make the best of their situations and with the material that they're given. So, yeah, that's it. Maybe like a 4.5 out of 5. It's not a fantastic movie. Furious 8, I'm skeptical. I know that Series 7 was such a major success, but I think they should end it here with Furious 8, and they should really try and make this good. unfortunately, it's not going to be the same without Paul Walker. That's really, I feel like they should have just ended it there, because that could have, because I mean, Furious 7 could have been a good ending to the series. It would have been a really good ending. It really would have been. I would have really liked that, because why not? I thought it was better off that way, because without Paul Walker, the series doesn't really have much of that appeal that that many fans have about it. But whatever. Anyways, guys, that's my review for Furious 7. Comment below, what did you think of it? Did you think it lived up to the hype? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Did you like the tribute to Paul Walker? And subscribe to my channel for more videos. I know, I really wish I didn't screw that up. I don't want to do that review over again. I did such a good job. I think I did a good job, and I didn't really want to... Well, I got some good job, but I didn't really care. I just wanted to do it because I just need to get that review up. But this is one thing I really liked about it. You Never See You Again, I believe that's what it is. I forgot the artist because I don't really listen to music, but they also played that during the tribute to Paul Walker, and it was really nice to hear it. It really made the emotion more resonant than it would have been just hearing nothing or just hearing some generic music. It's a special song, and I thought it worked really well. I thought it worked really well, guys. Like I said before, guys, comment below what you think of the movie, and subscribe to my channel for more videos.